Okay, so this is the first episode of me documenting the journey of building my SaaS up to $5,000 per month. And currently it is sitting at $87. It's a while away from 5,000, but the important part to note is obviously it's more than zero, which means that there is somewhat interest and there is, if you look at the amount of SaaSes that stay at zero for ages or forever, basically, it's quite a high percentage. So either way, good traction, happy about that, can't complain. Now, this SaaS is the SaaS that I've been building for and been working on for a year now, actually. As of May, it has been a year that I've been working on it. And that is PanelDesk, which is a quoting to job card to invoicing system for panel beaters, right? And apologize for my bird. My bird's probably going to scream a lot. But anyways, so that's for them, and they can also handle all the insurance work and everything like that. That's the objective of the application. For the most part, it does that, and yeah, there's a few small things that we're still integrating, but anyways, so that's the bulk of it, and it's obviously a B2B SaaS instead of a B2C. And now I thought I'd also just touch on why I chose a B2B over a B2C. Now, there's pros and cons to both, but ultimately, from when I was looking at it, I was like, all right, okay, it makes more sense to do a B2B. Also with my background. So previously, I'd obviously started up agencies and been quite involved in agency type of models, which sell to other businesses as well. So I had a good understanding of that. So I also thought that it's probably where I would be best suited. And also I thought if I was able to build a SaaS product that integrates into another business and basically becomes the main core workflow for that business, then it becomes very sticky. And essentially, if they ever wanted to get rid of it or change or something like that, it's a little bit of a ball ache and it's a little bit of a headache. So ideally, they wouldn't want to leave or switch. So I'm assuming the LTV, which the lifetime value of that customer would be a lot more, is the idea. And that's the understanding that I've had of it. And that's kind of why I went ahead with this. So yeah, so that's this product. And then in terms of where we're at right now and the next steps, right now it's works where it does the quoting, the job cards, the invoicing, final costings, which is used for insurance purposes. It does all that. And then we're also working on a clocking in and clocking out system for the employees. That is live at the moment. It's in testing. I need to actually get it in testing at a real shop. It's not there yet. Well, the software is there. I need to go and install it still into that workshop. So that was pretty cool. And then there's obviously also like a profitability tracker, which works hand in hand with the clock in and clock out system. That is all for the most part is done. It just needs to go actually into testing. So yeah, and the next steps really is there's been a lot of integrations that I need for that panel beaters need to obviously be approved by manufacturers like Toyota, Suzuki, Mazda, and so forth. So I had to get approval to integrate with these companies, which as of 2 days ago, I did get. So that was a massive high, but not, it's quite interestingly enough though, actually, it was a massive high in terms of like an amazing milestone to hit. And that was really great. And I was very grateful for that. But emotionally, and I guess on the inside, it was like a very numb, weird feeling. Not really sure what that was about, but I guess that sometimes when you're like really working towards something and then when you hit it, you think that that's going to be the thing that's going to give you all this peace and whatnot or whatever, or it's going to be so great. And then when you do get it, then it's kind of like not that great, or not that it's not that great, but you didn't get the feeling or that dopamine hit or whatever that you were expecting. So it's probably just that. But anyway, so the point is that the next steps would be to finalize the integration with them on that. It's going pretty well so far. And then there's another integration with an insurance company. Well, not an insurance company, but they handle a lot of the insurance work. So also doing that. So yeah, those are probably just working on that and then just sales really. So those are the next steps. I haven't been pushing sales that hard as I should. So majority of the customers that I've gotten have actually been through SEO. So if I actually pull up my dashboard. All right. Okay. So this brings this one over, right? Hold on. That's my staging environment. Okay. So this is obviously the main app from my side that I can obviously see it. So we can see that there's a total of 16 companies. We need a -1 here because one of them is a dummy account. All right, so this is the dashboard that I see, right, that I created for myself. So I can kind of get a gist of where everyone is. Right now we have 3 paid subscriptions, which is at 475 Rand a month, which is obviously there was this promo that I was running that I didn't do as well. We got 9 people that are trialing the subscription. We have 4 churned companies, 2 in the last 30 days, 2 were previously. So yeah, anyways, and then 2 lifetime companies. This is my dad's shop and my like dummy prod shop. So that's why I say, so technically we've only had 15 signups, which in all honesty is not too bad. It's not too bad. The reason why I say that is just because I haven't worked on the marketing as much as I should have. And I haven't. So this is mainly, so basically of this 15, 2 of them, one is obviously my dad's shop, so that doesn't count. It was quite easy to get him on board. And then the other one I cold called. That was that. And then the rest have all been through SEO and just them finding me on the internet, which has been really great because obviously that means that the website converts a little bit and whatnot. And if you actually see the traffic on the site, which I can pull up. So this is the traffic on the site. You'll see it's really not that great. Let's do the last 28 days. You can see like it's really, really low. Like we've had 173 users, which is actually not that bad now that I think about it. But 168, let's call it 168 users. I don't really understand. Oh, this is from the last 7 days. Here we go. And then obviously at this time, 57 of them are from South Africa. Now, I've been primarily focusing on South Africa and everything was South African based, but only like in the last week or so did I switch everything over to try and obviously cater for the US people. Because obviously I noticed that majority of my traffic is somehow coming from the United States. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, I need to get the .com domain, which is what I did. And I need to change the copy on the website. So if we actually check the site out, right, there's PanelDesk.com now, which is the main website. And it's all of the wording and stuff is for, the global market, like America, pretty much. And then obviously I also have the SA version of the site. So which then uses South African specific terms. So this is quite cool to do, to obviously have a website that's got like, one catered for South Africa, one catered for the UK, one catered for America, whatnot. I don't have the other sites just yet, but, we'll get there. But for now, there's just South Africa and then a global site, which hopefully the idea is that it obviously pulls in some of these US people and that they also sign up. So we'll see. I guess this is the nice thing about a SaaS is the fact that you can pivot based on your data quite easily. So yeah, and also, that's also another thing that's really important is to obviously track these types of analytics, because had I not Kazakhstan, where the heck does that come from? Oh, okay. That was confusing. Anyways, that was, you can see this data. And if you didn't have this data, then, I would have never thought to, be like, oh, there's actually interest from other countries. Let me try and obviously cater for them and make it work. So obviously when I saw that, I had to adjust the SaaS product so that it caters for those countries, so that, we can change the currency, we can make sure that the time zones show properly on the app and whatnot. All these things that I didn't really consider too much, because initially I was like, okay, it's only for South Africans. But now obviously you can see that there are, interest from the US. And in this week, actually, on Monday, I had the first sign up from a client from the UK. Now, it doesn't seem like that guy's going to convert to anything, but it was still cool to see that someone from another country signed up, because otherwise everyone else is, has been South African. So that's cool. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that's basically where we're at with it at the moment. And then, oh, damn, you can change the scenes in this thing. That's pretty dope. Okay, I didn't know that. Anyways, the more you know. So another thing on all of this, right, is at the end of the day, I think I mentioned that I'd been working on this app for the last 12 months now, for a whole year. And had I, trusted the process, been a bit more consistent with it, I think I'd be a lot further than where I am currently at right now, had I just stayed on the main path. I diverged a little bit. Try this, try that, build this product, build that. And I also end up spending a lot of time on useless features as well. And also in the beginning, I wasn't using AI to code it. I was doing it myself because I was like, oh, I'm a big boy. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm not gonna be like them. Anyways, that's dumb. It's absolutely incredible. It's amazing. So that's obviously helped speed up things quite a lot. And I think this is also another thing that's so crazy, is that to think that in South Africa, there are two main competitors for this specific type of product. And those are obviously massive companies. They're really big. And, now here's one guy with the power of AI pretty much. Yeah, sure, I do come from a coding background, so that's obviously did help me quite a lot. But, now, we're starting to enter that market, and it's really great. It's really amazing. On as I mentioned, Monday, we got the approval so we can integrate. That gives them, the other companies, the fact that they can be approved by Toyota and whatnot through the application as well, which one was a big pushback, objection that some of the companies had that I'd spoken to. They were like, oh, but we need that. So that was a little bit of a ball ache for me. I was like, oh damn, if I don't get that, it's gonna, that's probably gonna sink the product quite hard, or at least limit the growth. But anyways, so that's all sorted now. But anyways, the point that I wanted to get to was obviously having faith in yourself and the product that you're building, and sticking with it, because I had diverged a lot when things got a bit tough, or I got a little bit demotivated or whatever. It delayed everything. Had I just stuck with it, I'd be a lot further, and the product would have done a lot better. Now, in the 12 months is what I mean specifically. I still do believe that this product's going to do great. And the reason as well why I say the faith part is really, really important is because, in a previous video that I recorded, I mentioned how, this is the most amount of self-doubt that I've had ever. And I used to be previously extremely confident. I still am confident, but this has put in a lot of the most self-doubt that I've ever had. And having faith in myself, and not just in myself but in God, has really, really helped, I guess you could say, center me and put me on the right path. And there was this one verse that I absolutely love, which I'm going to read here. It says, it's from James 2 verse 26. So it says, for as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. And it gives me the heebie-jeebies, but it is so powerful because basically, I've had faith in this product. I've had faith in myself. At times I did lack, but ultimately I had it. And, I'd pray a lot to the Lord about it and be like, damn, did I make a mistake? Should I not have left my work, whatever, or quit that contract, or however you want to say it? But then, I was like, you know what? I believe that I've got a calling to do this and go down this path. So I'm going to have that faith. And I'm also going to trust the Lord that He will provide. But in saying that, I can have that faith, but I have to also put in the work. So that is why, I would keep pushing at it. Even when I get demotivated or a little bit distracted, you realign and you keep pushing, you keep working, and you just keep doing. And somehow, miraculously, well, not miraculously, it's obviously from the Lord, but, He does provide. So as an example, for instance, when I first launched this product now in January, I did a bunch of cold calling. Over 100 companies I called, and no one was interested in the product. No one wanted to even try it. Then I was like, okay, let me drive door to door and just go to their workshops. Let me speak to them. Maybe that will work better. Drove around, same result. No one was interested. And I'd love to say that I think I was a good salesman or whatever, but I don't know. It just didn't work so lacquer. And that was a very humbling moment for me and a point in my life, because I was like, wow, okay, nothing is going to plan. And I thought, one, I know the product is better. Two, well, at least I think I know it is. But two, it does solve their problem, but they just were very reluctant to trying it out and whatnot. And I was like, damn, I made a mistake. And a lot of, nervousness or whatever kicked in. And I was like, you know what? I'm in this now, so there's nothing I can do. So I prayed about it, went to bed that night, and literally the next day, I had one of the guys that I'd previously called sign up and give me a call and say, how's it? I'm gonna give your product a chance, because I know that, for anything to succeed, really, there's people that's gonna have to give it a chance, and he'll do that. And that lifted my spirits like you cannot believe. And then obviously I kept working on the product. And now fast forward, we are here today. We've got quite a few signups, and I haven't even been pushing the sales that hard as much. I pushed the sales really hard in the beginning, and then I realized there's a few holes I need to fix first. I don't know. I might just actually be saying that. I probably should push the sales a bit harder regardless. Yeah, probably. Anyways, we'll figure that out. And what was I gonna say? Also on faith. Sorry, I got distracted there now. Oh yeah, and then the same thing when I was like, okay, let me do the work to make it all global and stuff like that and see what happens. I then did put obviously all the effort, made it that it can be global and whatnot. We pushed it live, and then, which was like about 2 weeks ago, give or take, that it went live for the first time. And nothing was happening, and I was like, I was wondering, I was like, damn, I don't know, it's a bit dead. I don't know, it's a bit weird, but anyways. And then same thing, I prayed about it. Basically, I guess you could say, put it in the Lord's hands. And then I was like, you know what, Lord, if that's what you want, if that's what it is, I've put in the work. I'm just going to keep building the product and working on the product. And then literally the next day, I wake up and someone has signed up from the UK, which was a Monday. Well, they signed up on Sunday. I only saw it Monday. But that's crazy to me. And I don't know whether you're watching this or not, whether you believe in the Lord or whether you believe what you believe. But I'm obviously Christian. And yeah, I must say, I think it's been absolutely phenomenal to be able to have faith in the Lord and put your faith there and then just see how he comes through for you. And I mean, this applies to all aspects of life, not just this like SaaS building or whatever. It'll pull through in friendships, relationships, you name it. The Lord will come through for you, kind of thing. So anyways, that's that whole jiffy. That's the update on PanelDesk, the SaaS and everything like that. The goal is to obviously hit $5,000 recurring income with this, because obviously previously that's where I was at. So yeah, that's what we're going to push to. And I think I'll keep recording these types of videos until we hit that. And then, I think there will be a lot of changes in mindsets, marketing tactics, I don't know what, but I think it will be very interesting. At least it will be for me to see and, be able to monitor that progress a little bit. So yeah, thank you so much. And as always, wishing all the best, and yeah, good luck.